It's the Wilk Report. I'm Michael Wilk, coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio, with a review of Batwoman, the first 4 episodes. Uh, oh my god, dude, this show just insults my intelligence on every level. I did not want to review this crap, but everyone else is doing it, and the algorithms dictate, yeah, this is what's trending, this is what you want to review. So yeah, I kind of have to. Um, so yeah, this is a show that gets everything wrong that it possibly can get wrong. It is just so fucking stupid on every level that I actually felt my IQ dropping the more I watched this show. So I found I ended up having to take extended breaks just to preserve my sanity. Okay, so the first episode opens up where Kate Kane is diving, like she's in the Arctic or Antarctic, presumably the Arctic, because there's some Indian guy like Inuit who's apparently her trainer. While she's diving under the sea ice, which makes no sense because there actually is no more sea ice in the Arctic. It's gone. Global warming has melted it. So, there's some probability aside. So she's diving down in nothing but her underwear and handcuffs around her ankles, and she's diving to retrieve the key. So she finds the key pretty quickly, swims up. Oh, somebody's put a trunk under the hole, so she uses a key to unlock the other part of the handcuffs, and uses that to break through the ice. And she bursts into the cabin where her teacher is, and he's got his timer, like his stopwatch with him, and said, too slow. And she's like, well, you put a suitcase over the hole. It's like, yeah, and you got out, so obviously you're fine, but you're still too slow. And she's pissed at this. But you asked to do this. You wanted to do this. You're trying to test your endurance training. Oh, and apparently hypothermia is totally not a thing when you've been diving in your underwear and you're like 98 pounds sopping wet. And yeah. Oh, and by the way, the screen capture that I'm using for the title card, I had to color correct that because the color correction in this show is so god-awful. I can't believe that it actually made it onto air looking like that. So yeah, what you're seeing is actually an enhancement. I kid you not. It is actually, what I did minimally here, it looks loads better than anything you will see on screen. And I will fucking show you. Actually, let me go ahead and show you some more screen captures of this, because this is completely and totally, oh my god, yeah. So yeah, this is the original. Yeah, this is the original photo from the still that I took from the episode, and this is just the first episode. So yeah, this is completely mind-numbingly. I mean, why do you use a blue filter? It's not even supposed to. It doesn't even look like nighttime. So why on God's green earth would you go ahead and? Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, the whole dynamics of this show just completely blow chunks. And here's the title card for the actual episode. Yeah. So we're looking at something that is just so fucking god awful. Okay, so basically, as Kate Kane is trying to burst through the ice, she has flashbacks of when she and her sister were little girls, and they're riding with mommy and daddy along some road, and the car crashes, and Batman shows up. Apparently, is only able to save Kate and her father. Mother's killed. Sister Beth is apparently missing and presumed dead. Then we flash forward to present day, and Batman's established as having disappeared 3 years prior, and she thinks that Batman abandoned the city because he just doesn't care. No. No, actually. If you're trying to tie this into the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy, well, no, he didn't disappear. He left, okay? He's presumed dead. So, I don't know. But, it's kind of iffy as to what's going on because we don't know how or why Batman left. That's never explained. I mean, you would think that there would be some kind of public explanation, at least from the police, who apparently are not a presence here in this show at all. And apparently the job of law enforcement has now fallen to a private security firm called the Crows, which is started by Kate's father. So right off the bat here, we are seeing a cluster screw of storytelling because nothing in this makes even a lick of sense. So yeah, the Crows are apparently the new Gotham police force because the actual police force is nowhere to be seen. And oh yeah, it's started by Kate Kane's father, played by Doug Ray Scott, who really doesn't even look like Doug Ray Scott anymore. And he's since remarried, but apparently Kate is all he has left, even though he's got a wife and a stepdaughter. And yeah, so basically there's this ceremony to officially flip off the bat signal, which, because apparently they need to make a show of it 3 years after the fact. You could have just turned it off 3 years ago and just, when you realize that Batman wasn't showing up. So reasons for this are a little non-existent, except to just make a show that, Batman doesn't care about us, he's left us, he's abandoned us, and oh yeah, so, but, here we have the Crows, but then along comes this whack job named Alice, who's modeled on the Lewis Carroll character, and her henchman of characters from Alice in Wonderland. And of course, there's like some kind of rabbit figure, either Marsh Hare or the White Rabbit, but he's some kind of serial killer type dude. I don't know. But I mean, just everything about this show, it just screams insult to the intelligence of the person watching it. Because, like I said, nothing makes sense. I mean, Batwoman does everything wrong here. She lets the villain get away, even though, she has ample opportunity to catch her on multiple occasions, because reasons. We don't know these reasons. Apparently, it's required by the story. But I guess what really pisses me off about this whole thing is that we are basically expected to just accept all of this without questioning any of it. Because, I mean, first of all, you've got the police who presumably would still exist, but, why are they not relied upon to actually do anything? And why on God's green earth would you trust a private security firm to do the job of a police force anyway? All right, so, so basically, so, there's stuff where, like, supposedly, there's this connection between Alice and Kate Kane where it's hinted very strongly that Beth and Alice are one and the same, and that's why Kate doesn't capture her when she absolutely could. There's the scenes, of course, where Kate Kane finds the Bat Cave and the Bat suit and has Luke Fox, who's Lucius's son, nephew, whatever. I don't quite recall what connection he has to Lucius Fox, except that he's young and black and smart and knows how to put the bat suit back together after it gets trashed multiple times. But it's just, oh my god, dude, just mind-bogglingly dumb. I mean, it's bad enough that the visuals are absolute crap. because, I mean, the lighting is horrible. I mean, all the visuals that you saw in the trailers for this show, where it looked incomplete and kind of horribly lit and really badly colored, all of that is actually in the show. They did nothing to correct any of that shit. I mean, this show. I mean, granted, it's CW, and CW shows are complete and utter shit. I mean, I don't know why Supernatural has gone on as long as it has, except that maybe it's the only thing keeping Jarrett Padalecki and Jensen Ackles employed right now. Although for how long is anybody's guess, because, yeah. So, but that show should have ended like after the fourth season, because it wasn't all that great to begin with, and outlasted any usefulness it had by the end of season 4, and it's dragged on for what, like 11 or 12 for however long. So yeah, I mean, that's, oh my god, dude. And of course, Supergirl is in season 5, and that's 5 seasons longer than it should have run, because it never should have been made, because it's crap. I mean, this show makes Supergirl look good by comparison. That's how bad Batwoman is. Okay, they're trying to ride the coattails of having a female LGBT lead, and that's it. That's the only thing, apparently, that the writers and producers think can carry this show. And if you don't watch it and if you don't like it, then you're some kind of misogynist or homophobe. Well, I'm neither. Okay, I've got LGBT friends and relatives. In fact, actually, I just got done defending transgender people on a couple of Facebook threads. One where like some turf assholes are bitching and moaning about transgender women trying to compete in women's sports. Well, they can't compete in men's sports for obvious reasons, because they look and in many cases have been surgically reassigned to be women, and they're taking testosterone inhibitors, so it's not like they can really compete on the same field as men. So basically they're calling for transgender people to be segregated from men's and women's sports, because reasons. No, it's pure bigotry, assholes. Then, of course, there's another asshole who was spreading this petition to try and prevent a 7-year-old boy from being allowed to transition and, stop the transgender threat or menace or whatever. Like, dude, come on, grow up. So I'm no homophobe and I'm no misogynist, okay? I actually liked Xena Warrior Princess. I liked Star Trek Voyager. Both had female leads. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, again, female lead. Like the show. I even every once in a while watched Charmed for the first few seasons before it got stupid. Because Aaron Spelling does that to every show he produced. He just turned it into a cheesy soap opera, and I lost interest after that. But so it's not like I'm someone who doesn't like a show just because it has a woman as the lead, or because a lead doesn't conform to being white or male or straight or Christian or whatnot. No, I care about good stories. And this is bad storytelling. And like I said, I mean, it's just, visually, it's a mess. Narratively, I don't even know what the hell it wants to be. I mean, the whole, all the punches at Batman and at men generally, I mean, just, they're unnecessary, they're repetitive, and they just fall flat. Okay? If you're trying to ride on the message that, men suck and women know everything, I'm sorry, but, I mean, there's even a scene where Kate, or someone else, I forget whom, because this show is completely forgettable, but there's a scene in an elevator where, there's a male paramedic who's actually, trying to help someone who's non-responsive, and the woman in the elevator, apparently, who has no EMS training or EMT training, apparently figures out what's wrong with the patient and fixes everything. Well, just to show that, male EMTs can't do shit. It's like, why? I mean, it's not because he's male that he's incompetent. His competence is determined by his training. And You cannot, be, just because you're a woman, go ahead and diagnose someone when you've got no medical training whatsoever. You don't know what to look for, and find what's wrong with a patient, and then help that patient. That it's just not reality. It breaks suspension of disbelief. So, like I said, oh, and for some reason, Dougray Scott's character, who plays Kate's father, is trying to kill Alice, even though it's kind of questionable that this might actually be his daughter. So why is he trying to kill someone who might be his daughter, whom he thought long dead? It's like, if you find out your daughter's back, why would you try to kill her again? So, I mean, nothing in this show makes sense. It's just a complete insult to the intelligence. So, uh, but yeah, 4 episodes in, I can see why everyone is hating on it so much, because and Ruby Rose can't act for shit. I'm sorry, but just because she looks pretty, and just because she happens to be bisexual, and you want to have her as a lesbian in the show, okay, well, fine, whatever. I mean, because yeah, Batwoman uh, got retconned into being a lesbian uh, in the comic books, so you decide to use that angle to try and pander to women and lesbians, but you're insulting both. I mean, most of the negative reviews I've seen of this have been women and LGBT, and they're saying the show sucks, that it unnecessarily panders to them, and but the general consensus among your target audience is that you've produced a really crappy show. It's not well written. It's not well acted. It's poorly produced. I mean, this makes Supergirl look good by comparison, and Supergirl sucks as a TV show. So I don't know what the hell CW was thinking in trying to do this. I mean, take a page from Joker. All right, why is this movie doing so well? It might actually hit the $1 billion mark if it stays in theaters long enough, and I think it will, because Warner Brothers wants to basically show MCU, hey, yeah, we don't have to follow your model. We can actually make a good film that people will come and watch, because it doesn't talk down to them, doesn't insult their intelligence, doesn't try and sell diversity as the only selling point. No, you tell a well-written story with great acting, great direction, great visuals, because there's really no, I mean, if there's any CGI in Joker, it's minimal. Everything is like, I hesitate to call 1981 a period piece, but it's almost 40 years from that year, so yeah, I mean, it's technically a period piece. So, but it's kept grounded in the real world, much like Christopher Nolan did with his trilogy. Although even Nolan went over the top, but you can definitely see in Todd Phillips' film, all the things that he did right, and anything he might have done wrong, it's very minimal. Not much to complain about here. You could have taken that level of writing and use that for your CW shows. And if you're going to take Batwoman and hold her up as a champion of LGBT women everywhere, the least you could do is, one, not talk down to your audience, two, not club your audience over the head. Although, I can see where critics are saying, it doesn't know if it wants to be that or if it wants to be just your run-of-the-mill CW schlock fest. So I mean, it's even inconsistent in that regard. So yeah, I mean, this. Oh my god. Shit. All right, so I'm gonna try and do a more in-depth episode by episode review here, but this basically is my general overall impression so far. 4 episodes in, because we've got the first episode, which apparently is called Internal, with a lowercase I and all caps for the rest. So I have no idea what the hell that's supposed to even mean. And then there's like all the other titles are like taken from Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. So it's like episode 2 is named The Rabbit Hole. Episode 3, Down, Down, Down. Episode 4 is called Who Are You? But that could easily be taken as a metaphor for the show itself, because the show doesn't even seem to know what it wants to be. Uh, so yeah, but let's end this video on a high note, though. There's this hilarious video going on because Joker spawned all these memes, and the meme here, it's like they turned that iconic steps scene into a commercial for Cialis, so basically Viagra. It's hilarious, and stuff like this just makes me laugh my ass off, because here's a film that is actually quite brilliant. It's brutal a lot of the time, and this kind of reminds you that the Joker actually is supposed to be someone who makes jokes, not only he finds them funny, but there's I mean, it just makes me laugh my ass off because it's so hilarious. Because you're taking this just goes to show you, what you can do with just a little bit of editing software and a little bit of footage, and shows, montage theory is like that's what films are made in the editing room, not on the set. So, but yeah, feel free to. I'll have a link to this in the description below, but. Yeah, so my next episode, I'm going to try and do a more in-depth review of the first episode. But I just wanted to give you my general impression so far of Batwoman, and just how awful I think it is, because it truly is bad. So what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm full of it? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from you. If you like what you've heard and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive notifications whenever we upload new content. And if you want to help support the channel, keep the lights on, help us bring you more content, head over to our Patreon or subscribe star page. I'm also doing a GoFundMe for upgrading and replacing tech. Link below. Until next time, this is Michael Wilk for the Wilk Report saying take care, good night, I'm out.